Everyone, a very warm welcome from Galway, and thank you for joining us for our launch event this morning. We are delighted to present Galway-Mayo Institute of Technology's new medical imaging suite, located in the Innovation Hub on the Galway campus and operated by the Enterprise Ireland Medical and Engineering Technology Gateway. Representing a significant investment by Enterprise Ireland, our newly installed Philips Azurion 7 M20 digital fluoroscope provides state-of-the-art imaging capabilities to our industry, research and academic partners. Kindly supported by GMIT, this purpose-built facility is an outstanding resource for the MedTech industry. Complementing our existing expertise in medical imaging, anatomical modeling, and physiological replication, this facility will enable us to continue to push the boundaries of what can be achieved in vitro testing. Shortly, we will learn more about the capabilities of the Philips Azurion, followed by a panel discussion on the importance of a facility such as this as a resource to the MedTech industry. But first, I would like to invite our distinguished guests to say a few words. Firstly, a short message from the President of GMIT, Dr. Orla Flynn.
Dies Maria Galer agus tá fáilte mór roimh. Is mise Dr. Orla Nílain, Uachtarán an Seo in Institute Technoliachta na Galway agus Mayo. Hello and a warm welcome to all those visiting us virtually this morning for the unveiling of our medical imaging suite. This facility is of significant importance to us in GMIT. It is a real enabler for our Met Gateway as a vehicle for engaging with industry and clinicians alike, and I think it will be very important for industry also. I want to specifically thank Enterprise Ireland for their ongoing support of the innovation agenda. They are a key partner for the Institutes of Technology, and here in GMIT, the relationship is especially strong. Their funding for the fluoroscope was of the order of €840,000, funded under the Capital Infrastructure Call in 2019. It was fortuitous that we were just completing the extension of our iHub, also funded by Enterprise Ireland, and we can house this equipment in such a fabulous location on our GMIT Galway campus. I want to say a special welcome to Maeve Conaghan, who is just starting as the new Enterprise Ireland Regional Director for the West Region, and I look forward to meeting you, Maeve, in person in the coming weeks. The funding for this equipment is to enable even greater interaction with industry, and I want to acknowledge the role of all the companies that we work with. Thank you for your ongoing support. And finally, I want to thank the whole team in GMIT who worked in this project, including all at the Met Gateway, all at the iHub, all in the Research and Innovation Office, and our Building and Estates colleagues. I look forward to seeing even more great things happening in the years ahead. Slán agus Gormagov.
Many thanks for your kind words and warm welcome, Orla. Next, I would like to introduce Dr. Rick Officer, VP of Research and Innovation at GMIT.
Hi, everyone. I'm not sure you can see me, but I think you can hear me. I'm Rick Officer, GMIT's Vice President for Research and Innovation. I'm delighted to welcome you all to today's launch event, and it's great to see so many people online. We're really thrilled to be adding this state-of-the-art medical imaging suite to GMIT's array of MedTech-focused tech supports. It really is a unique and important resource for our industry collaborators. The Irish MedTech sector is recognised as a global hub for innovation, and GMIT is absolutely committed to supporting the development of innovative and advanced medical technologies, all aimed at providing safer therapies and improved outcomes for patients. GMIT's strong collaboration with Ireland's MedTech industry involves our collaboration in academic and research activities, our delivery of sector-focused and specific educational programs, the provision of innovation supports and enterprise development supports, and particularly our MedTech-focused Business Incubation Centre, the iHub, in which the new facility is located. Our delivery of applied and sector-focused multidisciplinary research is achieved through the activities of the Gateway, our Medical and Engineering Technologies Gateway, which we call MET, and the collaborative research that it undertakes with its industry partners. I'm very appreciative of Orla Flynn's expression of gratitude to the team and indeed to Enterprise Ireland. Thank you so much for your tremendous support for this project. I'm also extremely grateful to the managers of the Met Gateway, Sharon White and previously Eugene McCarthy. It's through their stellar efforts that the funding for this facility was secured, and they've then brought it very successfully and very swiftly to fruition. Thanks also to my colleagues in GMIT's iHub and to our Buildings and Estates Department for facilitating and supporting the building works that have enabled this fantastic facility. So there's a terrific team now, a technical team in the Met Gateway that now look forward to welcoming our industry, clinical and research partners into this facility. And together, we look forward to supporting the development of next generation patient-centered technologies. Thanks very much, Sharon, and best of luck for the launch.
Thanks very much, Rick. I would now like to invite Dr. Mark Whelan, the Technology Gateway Programme Manager at Enterprise Ireland, to say a few words.
Good morning, everybody. I'm delighted to be here this morning on behalf of Enterprise Ireland to welcome you all here to the launch of the fluoroscope. Just quickly, for those of you who may not be aware of what the gateways are, it's a programme that we've been running in Enterprise Ireland since 2013 to provide resources to the Institutes of Technologies and TUs to go out and talk to you in industry, to find out what problems you have and bring those back in to the Institutes of Technologies and TUs to get those resolved on your behalf. And providing equipment like the fluoroscope, I think, is a great example of how that need has been articulated to us and how we can go ahead and do that. So I would strongly encourage all of the businesses online today to talk to Sharon and Anne if you haven't already. The Gateways program has been very successful, as I said, since 2013. We've delivered over 5,000 projects worth 45 million euro to industry, and the independent economic analysis we've had done of that in Enterprise Ireland show that for every euro that's been invested in that, there's a €7 return to the economy. So it really shows the power of working with the Institutes of Technologies and TUs. The fluoroscope itself is the biggest single item that we have funded. So again, I think that's great credit to the team in MedTech to show that the industry need is there. The maximum we were saying in the call was 250,000. So to have gone to 840 really does show that the belief we have in this piece of equipment, and I hope that it's a very great success for everybody, and I wish everybody in Met the best of luck with it. Thank you.
Many thanks for your kind words, Mark. The Philips Azurion 7M20 is a next-generation image-guided therapy platform. It boasts several features for enhanced medical imaging and is optimized for vascular, non-vascular, cardiovascular, and neuro applications. We're now joined by Natalie Morgan, Modality Sales Specialist for Image-Guided Therapy at Philips Healthcare. And Natalie will provide an overview of the capabilities of the Philips Azurion system.
Morning, Sharon. I'll just get these slides loaded up. Are we good to go, Michelle?
Yes, yeah.
Wonderful. Okay. So this was an extremely exciting project for Philips, and I was very privileged to be part of the whole process. It was one of the first that we've engaged with in terms of being a non-clinical with patients on the table system. So I'm going to give you a brief overview of what the system is, and yeah, we'll be taking questions at the end if there's anything during the panel. So next slide, please, Michelle. There's a quick video that I would like to just show you to give you an overview of the Azurion in its entirety, and then we'll touch on some elements of it as we continue.
A revolution has come to image-guided therapy. Philips Azurion is redefining industry standards. Through workflow innovation, Azurion enables superior patient care. Greater insights from sophisticated 3D live image guidance tools and digital imaging technologies. Leading image quality at a low dose. Work seamlessly with colleagues. View, control, and run applications independently. Expect high throughput and fast exam turnover. Access information from anywhere. Be guided by information when and where you need it. Select, zoom, and pan with two-finger touch. A new control module assists system operation, designed for upgradability. Azurion is the foundation for today and the innovations of tomorrow. Azurion goes beyond what was previously possible, meeting our continued ambition to support you in delivering superior care.
Innovation and you.
So that was a brief overview of the system in its entirety. I'll go into a little bit more detail now. So the system that was purchased by Sharon, Eugene, and the team and everybody involved is this system that you see here. It is in the background of Sharon's video feed, so you can see it live. But this is what it looks like. So just to give you a general overview here, floor-mounted gantry, Philips table, and then we've got the large screen monitor that allows full functionality during the procedures that will be taking place. So one of the innovations that we have with the system is dedicated software that drives the system called Connect OS. This allows multiple things to happen all at the same time, so the speed of the system is extremely quick. The workstations in the control area are two 24-inch monitors here. These are separate in the control room itself. They allow parallel use. So if there's activity going on in the lab itself, there can also be activity being performed in the control area too. So if somebody's wanted to try and set up for another study or take measurements while something else is continuing in the lab, that can be more than easily achieved. We have that instant parallel working, which I was just talking about. That ability to be able to do two things at once is a fantastic step forward in terms of the technology on the system. Zero dose positioning. So we do realize this is not on patients, but obviously you'll still be emitting radiation. So the ability to be able to reduce the dose to everybody that's inside the room at the time is very important. And having this facility to be able to do movements and without having to fluoro into position is going to be a big difference in terms of keeping that dose down to the people that are using this system. This is the large screen that the team have chosen. It was one of the options with the system itself. This is the top end monitoring capability. So you can have up to 8 inputs at any one time on this monitor here. You can easily drag and drop the inputs that it is that you're wanting to see at any time. You can change the sizes of these inputs. So it really does give a vast amount of flexibility in terms of everything that you need to see all at the same time in one easy solution. We also have the flexibility to move around the status area on the FlexVision as well. So having the capabilities to move this bar that you can see at the bottom, you are able to move that top left and bottom. So again, it makes it easier if you've got widescreen inputs to be able to see all of the information you need. So this is the touchscreen module here. It's going to run through a little video while I talk over it. This comes with the system as standard, so it has the capabilities to make it very easy to use, easy control, as you can see here. All of the collimation is going to be available to you, applying filters, changing projections, storing those projections, which I assume will be quite important to ensure that things are sort of followed in a functional way. Table positions, you're able to run through previous runs that you've performed. You're able to pause these runs, recall the exact table position that it was at on a specific angle. So all of the functionality that you would expect to be able to have is all available to you at tableside with this one easy touchpad. It's got multi-modality capability as well, so you are able to see multi-modalities coming into that touchscreen module. So if you've got ultrasound, if you've got hemodynamics, for example, all of those inputs from Philips can be controlled through this touchscreen. The control modules, as you saw in the video, are backlit, easy to be cleaned, etc. So again, easy to use, keeping that theme that if you've got lots of different people in this lab, everyone's going to be able to use this system very easily. The dose, obviously, again, it's not on patients, but it is important to keep this dose reduction down for everybody that's in the room at the time. So as you can see here, this pie chart just shows you an example of how we keep that dose down with the technology and the control and the awareness of what's happening in the room. The team also decided to invest in the Clarity IQ technology as well. So this was extremely important, again, for dose, but also in terms of the image quality that you're receiving from the system. Obviously, we want the best image quality available, which the Clarity IQ does bring with it. So you can see, hopefully, as you get to see the system, that the image quality that you're receiving is fantastic and enables you to achieve what you're needing to. This is just an example of some images that have been taken on the system itself. I don't think the videos are going to play, Michelle, so I think we can probably move to the next one. So moving into the tools that have been purchased as part of this lab, probably the most important element that we have with the system are the packages that have been purchased for you to be able to perform advanced procedures on them. So for structural heart types of cases, and I know that there's going to be different devices, etc., that are going to be tested. We've got the HeartNavigator system, which provides planning. So if you are you've got previous data from an MRI or a CT examination, you can import that from any hospital. You can use that data. You can match that with the data that you've got on the table. So the images that you've taken on the table, you can match those two together, and you can actually plan and look at potential treatment paths. So if you are wanting to test different devices or catheters, etc., you can have a look at these and plan these in good detail to be able to predict how they're going to be performing. Equally, we've also got the HeartNavigator software, which fuses ultrasound images with the live fluoro image. So it picks up on the TOE probe that's within the image itself, and then it automatically connects to the ultrasound at the same time. So instead of having to have two separate screens while you're trying to see the ultrasound on one and you're trying to match up what's going on with the live image feed, they're actually both combined together to give you a clear view of how to access and obviously look at the devices that will be used within these patients. The HeartNavigator, as you can see here, it's designed to help with TAVIs, mitral valves, and LAAC procedures. So all the types of devices that you would use for those particular examinations, this software would be applicable to those. And the HeartNavigator, as you can see here, that SmartPerfusion technology, it gives you that confidence in the anatomy and the device targeting and the communication between operators, because you can see everything on the one screen is much, much better. Obviously, there's 3D applications that are part of the system too. So the team have invested in a 3D angio package. This gives the rotational angio capabilities. Once you've performed this type of procedure, you can go on to perform further reconstructions. It provides automatic vessel analysis, virtual stenting capabilities, aneurysm volume measurements, and a whole host of other measurement tools that are available too. Vessel Navigator, so this is a complement to HeartNavigator. So we have HeartNavigator for cardiac cases, and we also have Vessel Navigator for vascular cases. So again, importing previous CT and MR data and being able to register that on the table to give you live image guidance is also vital, and a software package that the team have invested. They have SmartPerfusion as well. So if you're looking at perfusion capabilities, the system will allow for blood flow to be able to be analysed on table as well. Next one, please. We've also got cone beam CT capabilities, which we call our smart CT soft tissue applications. So as you can see here, you'll be able to perform these easily within the lab itself. So if you haven't got CT or MR data that you can bring in with you, you can actually perform these on table as well. And that is the system in a nutshell. And I'll pass back over to the team. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much, Natalie, for that overview. That was fantastic. Natalie will now be joined by Dr. Eugene McCarthy, Academic Director at Met, Mr. Aidan Duffy, Research and Development Manager at Sarah Novus, and Mr. Jonathan Boucher-Hayes, CEO at EndoWave, for a panel discussion. We welcome your questions, so please feel free to put them into the chat. And first, I'll come to you, Eugene, first, if you don't mind. The Med Technology Gateway has established strong ties with the medtech industry, both locally and nationally, and a significant driver for this is the capabilities that we offer in medical imaging. Could you tell us a little bit about how this new facility will enhance our capabilities and support our industry partners in their research, development, and innovation activities?
Thanks, Sharon. So it's very clear that we have a very nice piece of equipment that we're launching here today, and Met has a very strong track record in delivering medical imaging services to the medical device sector for over the past 10 years. But what this system does really is we now have available a system with a lot more higher resolution. And you can see from Natalie's presentation there that it extends the range of tests that we can now offer to those who are developing their medical technologies. And a very good example of that really is the combination of the 3D, X-ray and ultrasound imaging analysis, which, we know some of our companies, our partner companies, are developing those structural heart devices. So again, that's a very unique offering to the sector from an academic institution. Also, in relation to our own technologies that we develop in Met, the team has developed a very strong track record in developing customized anatomical models and simulation systems based on anonymized patient data. So with this particular piece of equipment as well, it will enable us to go through a more extensive validation process by using the 3D imagery and the higher resolution systems in particular. So again, that's adding value to the technologies that we develop in-house for companies, but again, it, I suppose, demonstrates further the clinical relevance of the tests that our partner companies will use. And that can have value again from an FDA or a technical submission to a regulatory body. So I suppose there are a couple of examples. The other example, I think what we were trying to strive to develop and enhance in GMIT was the actual facility itself, and to accommodate, we'll say, teams visiting GMIT. So we, unfortunately, companies can't see at the moment, but we have a larger imaging room to allow for those larger R&D teams. But beside that room, we have the control room, and we also have a meeting room as well. So the purpose of that, again, is to allow teams to go in, conduct their testing, and maybe they want to come out of the testing room and basically go into the meeting room and do some troubleshooting with our experts, again, with the softwares, etc. that's located in that meeting room. So again, this allows companies as well to bring in their clinicians, and I suppose a lot of our companies, our partner companies, are working with clinicians across the world. And the one thing that they'll immediately familiarize themselves is this technology now is in most hospitals. So they'll be very familiar with the technology. And again, the purpose of this really is to enhance that kind of very valuable clinical feedback that comes back from the clinician into the R&D on how they feel the device is performing, etc. So really, I'm going to start. I could probably talk about this all day, but anyway, I suppose the final point I will make is that, really our purpose here is to try and deepen the understanding of the disease itself and the challenges the device faces. So by the installation of this system, really what we're doing is deepening the understanding of the R&D team that are developing the technology, and we're hoping that will enhance the innovation process for the team. And by doing that, we're hoping then that our companies that are based here in Ireland will develop some form of unique selling point or market differentiator from other technologies that are on the market. So that's the final thing, but I'm looking forward to see it in use.
That's fantastic. Thanks, Eugene. And please feel free to talk away. It's no problem. Aidan, I might come to you next if you don't mind. This facility represents a unique offering for the medtech sector, providing state-of-the-art imaging capabilities typically only found in a clinical setting. For those who don't know Cerenovus, could you tell us a little bit about the technologies that you develop and what it means to Cerenovus to have a facility such as this on your doorstep?
Absolutely, and thank you, Sharon, Eugene, and team for having me on today. So I work with Cerenovus Galway. We develop therapies to treat stroke, both acute ischemic stroke and also hemorrhagic stroke. The Galway side is focused on the treatment of acute ischemic stroke. So we started as a local startup called Nuravi, founded in 2010, and we were acquired in 2017 by Johnson & Johnson. From there, we've been in partnership and collaborating with MET for some time. And the importance of a facility like this for us is that the treatment of acute ischemic stroke involves very small devices. They also need to access very distal portions of the brain through small arteries and quite extreme tortuosity in many cases. You know, having the ability to understand the visibility on the fluoroscopy of these devices is important for us, and also for our feedback from physicians as we develop these devices. And having a local state-of-the-art piece of equipment like this that allows us the flexibility to access the team there at MIT is huge and very important for us from a development point of view.
That's great. Thank you very much. So as you mentioned, MET and Cerenovus have a very long-standing relationship and in collaborative research. So could you maybe tell us a little bit about how our interdisciplinary research team has supported Cerenovus in developing your technologies and how this facility could enhance that?
Absolutely. So that long-standing partnership spans from the earlier days of Nuravi, which was a local Galway startup, and all the way through our journey and acquisition by Johnson & Johnson to a major multinational. The collaboration between both of our groups covers the last 10 years and a range of technologies and methodologies that includes not just the visualization technologies that you have in-house, but also other collaborations that enabled us to improve and evolve our device development and test methodologies. And that's specifically our in vitro testing, so that we can attempt to essentially recreate stroke on the bench, you know, and this allows us to more closely reproduce the clinical setting. And in terms of device development, being able to more closely reproduce that setting allows us to develop devices that are more effective.
Okay, that's perfect. Thank you. Thank you so much. Jonathan, I might move on to you. So Endowave are developing a technology for the treatment of lung cancer, and you're also based right here in the iHub. With the medical imaging suite just downstairs from your office, can you tell us a little bit more about your device and how the capabilities of the Philips Azurion will support it?
Thanks, Sharon. Hi, everyone. So, yeah, no, this is a kind of an exciting day for me in that we are in the iHubs, and this is my first day in it since October. So hopefully that's a sign of things opening up. One of the main reasons we're here, so Endowave is a spin out from which originated in the BioInnovate program, identified early stage lung cancer treatment in a less invasive way as a significant clinical need, and has gone about developing a microwave ablation device that is passed through the airway into the periphery of the lung. It's hard to access tumors in the periphery of the lung, and it needs various different technologies, and particularly imaging technologies like the Philips system, and specifically the cone beam facility that has. So we spun our technology out of NUI Galway, and when we were looking for a home to where to set up the office, one of the major factors was the fact that you had the imaging suite and the Philips Azurion system was coming in. Philips have developed specific technology or specific software for lung ablation, and they've worked with key opinion leaders throughout the world to help develop this. And they've got an excellent video on their website of the Philips Lung Suite who kind of show the ability to stage, to diagnose lung cancer, to stage lung cancer, and to treat lung cancer in one sitting or one setting in a minimally invasive fashion. So that's what we're developing. They show a competitor device in their animation, but hopefully maybe in the future, you know, through collaboration, they may show ours as well. But the ability for us to inform our device design with advanced imaging that is absolutely necessary for our procedure, and to use that software to make sure we're in the right place, to make sure we're creating the right size ablation so we can capture all of the tumor, capture a healthy margin, and to really refine how the workflow takes place in terms of the setup of the room, where the doctor stands. We bring in, a pulmonologist to pass devices down through a tortuous pathway. We image those. That really helps us inform the design at this stage, where we're moving towards a kind of a concept design lock, moving towards design freeze, and then all the human factors that will come into that, and the usability factors. So we'll be able to do a huge amount by just going downstairs. So our competitors are J&J and Medtronic, and companies like this. It's a very new area. There's only about 100 patients have been treated this way throughout the world, but we're the only ones with this kind of access to this technology, that we can access this easily. So it should be, as I said, it was probably the main reason we came here, other than the very attractive office space and I suppose all the other medical device companies here. But having that technology here, having it on our doorstep, we really believe will inform design as we move forward. In order for us to become as expert as we can possibly be in the overall procedure, and not just the development of our device.
That's great. Thanks very much, Jonathan. So Jonathan, you mentioned the cone beam CT capabilities of the Azurion. Natalie, could you maybe talk us through the advantages and the features of this technology and its applications in image-guided therapy?
Yes, absolutely. So as part of the technology that Philips are looking at, they've organised a dedicated lung suite, which I didn't have a chance to mention during the presentation, but we've launched ExperGuide and ExperCT and the ExperGuide ablation package, which allows the system to be able to dedicate its focus on performing these types of lung procedures. So GMIT have invested in this technology, and it allows needle planning capabilities, and then you can choose dedicated needle packages to be able to identify the area that it is that you want to be able to treat. Once you've found that specific area that you're wanting to treat, it will then give you guidance depending on how you're going to treat, whether it be with RF or ICE, whatever it is that you're going to be doing. It will identify that area in a volume and tell you whether or not it's going to disturb any other structures. So the ExperGuide and the ablation package together are completely focused around helping to identify these small lung nodules. And yeah, this is really exciting for us, because we've got clinicians out there at the moment who are focusing on the clinical side of things and how they're treating these patients and trying to overcome these difficulties. So being able to sort of be involved in this and help with the development of new potential ways of doing this will be amazing.
That's perfect. Thanks so much, Natalie. So as we know, an ongoing challenge for medtech companies is to be able to establish a suitable test environment for your devices. So here at Met, we're always trying to push the boundaries of in vitro testing and what can be achieved in it. And from your perspective, Aidan and Jonathan, what do you see as the key obstacles for establishing a suitable test environment for your respective technologies?
I might quickly talk to that. So a key obstacle, I think, for any device development and any therapy is, obviously patient physiology is complex, but the ability to recreate that complexity and also the nuance of the clinical environment, I think, is incredibly important to start not just iterating through device designs, but also validating those designs, in the hands of physicians or in the hands of the users. Acute ischemic stroke procedure, for example, includes a wide gamut of variables that impact device performance, and that can be patient vasculature, clot composition, device compatibility with other products. Device visibility is also a key part to this procedure, and the ability of the physician to deliver the device, deploy the device, and accurately place the device. And I think it's the same for any therapy.
Thank you.
Yeah, just to echo what Aidan just said. So, we know the Neuravi story well. That's now Cerenovus and part of J&J, and that work that they did to really understand clots, having spoken to Eamon Brady and other people who were involved, I think really set Neuravi apart. It wasn't just about device development, it was understanding the overall procedure and working with Met and now working with the new imaging center. I think you probably, I think Aidan have described the benefits of it. That's what we're trying to replicate in the lung. We want to be the experts in the lung. We don't just want to be the experts in microwave ablation. Most of our competitors, that's what they're expert in. We want to understand both the physics of what we're doing, but also the mechanics and the clinical side of what we're doing. And so that's hugely important. We've got a device that's over a meter long that you're trying to reach a target that's very hard to reach accurately, and then accurately treat that in a way that's safe. So all that we can learn here on site will add hugely to that. And, we've taken inspiration from companies like Neuravi locally as to how we would best do that and what best practice might be.
Perfect. Thanks very much. So our current medical imaging facility that we had previously was used primarily for device evaluation and testing. However, this new facility offers capabilities for providing training on new technologies on medical imaging. So Eugene, how would you see this facility supporting and facilitating sector-specific educational and research programs in GMIT?
Yeah, so we currently have a master's in medical technologies and innovation development under validation, and we hope to have this launched in September coming. So this type of facility and the capabilities within the facility will be key to, I suppose, translating knowledge into, we'll say, the students that enroll onto the program. Other training or opportunities do exist, we'll say, from a point of view from our own team, our own expertise, to R&D teams as well. And indeed, we know from the past that companies have brought in their own R&D engineers and carried out their own, we'll say, training in the fluoroscope. So we would expect that to continue as well. And that can be within the R&D teams, but also spread out across with their sales teams as well. And also, it does allow, as I said previously, that flexibility for clinicians to fly in from wherever around the world and engage with their team and translate knowledge into the R&D teams as well.
That's great. Thanks, Eugene. And just the last question for Jonathan and Aidan. Collaborative research is a great way to support the research and development and innovation activities of a company. Both Cerenovus and Endowave have undertaken collaborative research to support your device development. So what would you say are the advantages of this? And what advice would you give to somebody watching today who might be considering undertaking a collaborative research project?
Aidan, I'm happy to go first. So, I think as a startup company, you can't do everything yourself. So, leaning on other people's expertise in terms of, what's outside of maybe the scope of your device design is important. So that benefit of working with people who have expertise in simulation models, etc. I mean, it's something that we can do and dedicate time towards, but, there's a limit probably to how far we can take that. Without input from other experts. And, we can't employ someone to do that full time. It has to be a part of their overall role. So I think really understanding and working with people who have done that kind of thing before, albeit tailoring it for our particular model, will work very well for us and will bring us very far along the road of making a successful device. Everything we want to do with the clinical side in mind and to inform the design clinically. So the more realistic the models that we have and the more realistic that the room we have and the imaging we have and all the ancillary devices that are required, the better our end product will be and the more safe and accurate and effective it'll be.
That's great. Thanks, Jonathan.
Completely agree with Jonathan. In our experience, successful device development comes, in large part from having, a cross-functional or interdisciplinary team that can support the R&D groups. And I think this stands true, for smaller companies as well as larger companies too. The ability to tap into that expertise, that resource, that previous experience is key. And having a state-of-the-art facility and equipment like this available in the west of Ireland, as a MedTech hub, is I think huge, because otherwise a company even like ours would be traveling potentially internationally to get access to similar type of technology.
That's great. Thanks so much. And thank you to all our panelists for an interesting and engaging conversation. Before we finish up today's event, I would like to extend some thanks to those who've supported this project. Firstly, to Enterprise Ireland, our sincere thanks for supporting us in making this project a reality. Your continued support of MedGateway and GMIT is very much appreciated. Secondly, to GMIT, and in particular to Dr. Orla Flynn, Dr. Rick Officer, and Jim Fennell, without whose support this project would not have happened. We're extremely grateful for GMIT's investment in this important and unique resource. Thank you also to our colleagues in Buildings and Estates Department, in particular David Lee, Cathal McHugh, and Karina Gavin, for facilitating and supporting the enabling works. Thank you to George and the team at the iHub for facilitating this project, and also to the iHub clients for your understanding and patience during the refurbishment works. Thank you to Tobin's Consulting Engineers for designing the facility and for overseeing the room refurbishment. Thank you also to Kilcawley Construction for carrying out the building works and for finishing the facility to such a high standard. Thank you to our Radiological Protection Advisor, Brendan Toohey, for your guidance throughout the building works, installation and commissioning of the facility, and for your continued support. Thank you to the team at Philips Healthcare for your engagement and insistence throughout the design and refurbishment process and for the installation, and for your continued support during its use. Thank you to Mark Whelan, Rachel O'Keefe, Grania Foley, and all of the Technology Gateways team for your continued support and advice. Thank you to our speakers and panelists today. We're very grateful for your time and for your insights. And also to Anne Sexton, Turlock Rafferty, and Michelle Lee for all of your support in preparing and hosting this webinar. And last, but by no means least, I would like to thank the team at Met. The launch of this facility is testament to the success of the Met Gateway and a result of your continued hard work, commitment, and support. Before we go, we would like to give you a quick virtual tour of our facility here. We'll just play the video shortly. Thank you again for joining us for our launch event today, and we look forward to welcoming you to our facility. For any inquiries, please contact us at met@gmit.ie. Welcome to GMIT's Medical Imaging Suite, located in the Innovation Hub on the Galway campus and operated by the Enterprise Ireland Medical and Engineering Technology Gateway. Representing a significant investment by Enterprise Ireland and kindly supported by GMIT, this purpose-built facility with our newly installed Philips Azurion 7 M20 digital fluoroscope is an outstanding resource for the medtech industry and academic and clinical researchers alike.
Ireland's medtech sector is a hotbed of innovation and is recognised globally as a key industrial hub. GMIT has established strong ties with the medtech industry in Ireland through our collaborative research activities and the delivery of sector-specific educational programs. GMIT's delivery of applied, sector-focused research, development and innovation is achieved through the activities of our Medical and Engineering Technology Gateway and its strong synergy with industry partners. Through their engagement and collaboration with the Met Gateway, companies have access to our full suite of medtech-focused technology offerings. These now include this state-of-the-art medical imaging suite. GMIT is committed to supporting research, development and innovation within the medtech sector and are delighted to offer such a unique and important resource for our industry collaborators. Through the provision of such facilities, we continue to support the development of innovative and advanced medical technologies. Together, we aim to improve patient outcomes and provide safer therapies.
The Medical Engineering Technologies Gateway was established in 2016 through the Enterprise Ireland Technology Gateway programme. The primary objective of MET is to provide innovative solutions to companies developing disruptive medical technologies. Since its establishment, MET has enjoyed considerable success with its company partners, and core to driving this success is the multidisciplinary nature of the MET team, the flexible approach to providing solutions, and the technologies available through MET. The new state-of-the-art medical imaging facility will be key to supporting companies throughout the innovation and development journey of their medical technologies. Indeed, the installation of this new state-of-the-art facility represents a shared vision between GMIT and Enterprise Ireland to deepen the Institute's engagement with industry and to continue supporting companies developing next-generation medical technologies.
The Philips Azurion 7M20 digital fluoroscope provides augmented fluoroscopy by combining the 3D cone beam CT scan acquisition with interventional software tools such as 3D Roadmap, Vessel and HeartNavigator, and Lung Suite. 3D reconstructions of cone beam CT scans or imported CTA and MRA datasets are overlaid on live fluoroscopy for real-time 3D guidance of catheters or devices. The overlay of segmented simulated lung lesions onto the live fluoroscopy provides intuitive real-time 3D image guidance for precise navigation of catheters and biopsy tools. Quantitative and qualitative aortic and peripheral vasculature analysis can be performed. The evaluation of the changes in vascular perfusion is provided in a color-coded representation by the SmartPerfusion tool.
This suite provides state-of-the-art imaging capabilities to our industry, research and academic partners, while complementing our existing expertise in medical imaging, anatomical modelling and physiological replication. Not only will this facility be used for device evaluation and testing, it will also be used to demonstrate and provide training on new technologies and devices for clinicians and staff. The system can also be used for training personnel in imaging technologies and the interpretation of medical images. The medical imaging suite will include a conferencing facility for streaming live images to external parties such as off-site engineering teams, physicians and research partners. For further information or to book a tour, please don't hesitate to contact us at met@gmit.ie.